It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
But did she though? It's not going to be clear until we see the end of that clip. And like any good video hook, now you have a reason to stay and watch the entire thing. But before we get to that, which was the last event of the day, here we've got Ash and Trace's second workout for the morning. They had to do 70 dumbbell snatches, synchronized. They had to do 60 wall balls and then 50 toes to bar. The wall balls and toes to bar, they could split up however they like. Or maybe it was 60 toes and 50 walls. Anyway, it was those reps. So the snatches, yeah, they had to sync those at the top. They open with a massive set of 40 reps, just straight up, 15 kilos each. Not too shabby. And when they get to the wall balls, check out the transfer they had going on. Every 10 reps, it was just move to the left and the other person steps in. It worked every single time. You know, the catch wasn't always the cleanest thing in the world, but it worked every single time and they never missed a rep. This is where they started to really get a lead in the workout. And then once they got on that toes to bar, the other teams did not stand a chance. Ash and Trace actually did this same competition in 2019. They bring it up every year. It's a fundraising competition. In 2019, they came 23rd out of 25 teams. So, you know, they were looking to improve on that one. It's probably worth noting that they did the same division in 2019 as they did this year. And if we step back in time a little bit, workout 1 was a thruster and burpee workout. They did really well and they took 9th in that first event. The second event, however, really helped their position. They actually tied for first place in this event. Their time for the workout was 6 minutes and 11 seconds. So after 2 events, they had a 9th and a 1st. That's doing pretty well. Then we got into event 3. This was probably Ash's favorite event because she got to work on a tan. It was all outside and the sun was definitely doing its thing on Sunday. The event started with a 1200 meter row. The person rowing could only row if their other teammate was holding the pair of kettlebells in the front rack position. They could swap as often as they like, but obviously all that changing is going to cost you quite a bit of time. Then in whatever time they had left in the time cap, they had to bust out step-ups with those same kettlebells. It was super grisly. Trace did the opening and closing 400 meter rows with Ash taking the middle piece. Once it got to the step-ups, there was spitting, stomping, there was a lot of grunting, some other sounds that I would find difficult to describe, but it worked out very well for them in the end. The girls got off the rower at the quicker end of the whole event with 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But once they started stepping, they were straight unbeatable. They got a total of 75 step-ups in the remaining time, with the second closest score only getting 60 step-ups. That event for them, the row and the steps, was a solid first place. Event 4, this was an ascending AMRAP of bike curls, synced overhead plate lunges, and rope climbs. The rep scheme was 10-10-1, 20-22, 30-33, and so on. I'll just play the video for this one. In her defense, the ropes were reported to be very, very slippery. Maybe, potentially, she just slipped. Aside from the splits, this event had one other massive highlight. At least it was a highlight for the spectators. In the closing 45 seconds, they were on the bike when Tracy goes to step off so Ash can get on, and Ash just yells right at her mother, "You keep going!" And Tracy, there was like a sound that she made, but she kept going. But it worked out. They even got back to the lunges on the round of 40s. The girls made a total of 174 reps ahead of second place's 167, locking in another first place. And after a long day of waiting around at our little base camp that we'd set up, which was just sort of accidentally right next to some toilets, which started backing up at about 11 a.m., events 5A and 5B started to kick off. 5A was a 6-minute AMRAP of chest to bars, deadlifts, power cleans, and shoulder to overheads, all at 45 kilos. It was one person working at a time, split the reps however you like. Tracy took the bulk of the barbell, with Ash doing the bulk of the pull-ups. The girls powered through to take 4th place on this part A. A big part of their success was their plan. They made the plan and they stuck to it. It was short, it was 6 minutes. 0 time was wasted trying to change stuff mid-workout. We watched the couple of heats preceding this, and people were just constantly discussing back and forth what they should be doing. And, you know, as soon as you've wasted 15, 20 seconds, you're out. The entire 6 minutes was used very effectively. Now, 5B. 5B, they knew was going to be a toughie. 5B started as soon as 5A finished. So the clock's going, as soon as it hits 6 minutes, bam. You finish part A and you start part B. It was 4 minutes to do a max weight of the following complex: power clean, squat clean, shoulder to overhead. Trace got in quick and did the bar they already had loaded, 45 kilos, got that in the bag for a safety, and then had a crack at the 50. Because the 50 went so well, she tried a hand at a 60 and just missed the clean. Ash got the 60 locked in and decided it was time to shoot not for 65 but for 70. Like, the time was ticking down. It's only 4 minutes. This is the video you've already seen part of, but let's have a look at the whole thing. So as you can see, she knocked that one right out. Once that bar went down, they had about 10 seconds left. And you could see Trace in the video trying to get other plates ready to take the weight up. But Ash decided not to risk / bother going for the 75. Even though you just had to get the bar off the floor before the clock ran out of time. But under that time pressure, and hey, that's the end of... they'd been there for 10 or 11 hours at that point, so the fatigue was just generally pretty high. But it turned out to be a good call in hindsight, because even if she did the 5 kilos heavier, it would have only gained them 2 points overall, which in the end would have made 0 difference in the day. When all was said and done, the team, like mother, like daughter, ended Sunday Arvo in 2nd place, with 3rd place 13 points behind them, and 1st place only 8 points ahead of them. It's a bloody good turnaround from 23rd place to 2nd place in the space of 2 years. If you thought this sort of stuff was interesting, there's more competitions coming right up this weekend, Saturday the 18th. Ash and me, and I swear it was her idea, we will be competing in Logan in the morning, and that same afternoon, Larry, Rod, Tash, and Trace will all be competing over in Ferny Hills. Registration for these two is already closed, but if you would like to get in on a great upcoming comp, October the 16th, so what's that, about 4 weeks out, Wiser One CrossFit in Ipswich, hosted by OG Super Coach Alex, with programming from his mate Brandon Swan. It's going to be an all-out wicked day. Head to Wiser One's Facebook page, follow the link to the sign-up. We're aiming to get 10 teams from our gym to sign up to this event, because it will be a seriously fun day out. Obviously, the goal for us is to have the best base camp at every event, so we're looking for people to bring pop tops, inflatable furniture, someone with a Bluetooth stereo, maybe like a couch that we can take, and we're definitely going to be talking to Tash about taking her a massage table. Anyway, if you'd like to compete, spectate, or volunteer, everyone is needed, so you can jump on that Wiser One Facebook page, follow the link for all the information. Man, comps, look, they're not everything. I would hate for anyone to think that there's any sort of competition fixation. Not the case. But they are a great way to spend an occasional Saturday. You push so hard, and especially when you've got teammates on the line, you're going to find that extra 10 or 20%, and you're going to squeeze out every last rep. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. I will see you in the gym.